What's up, wild ones? It's been a minute again. Yes, I'm wearing a beanie and a scarf and a t-shirt. Don't at me about it, or do. I don't really care. But that's just, this is what's happening. This is all of what's happening today. Today's been a day. Well, it's been, a whole lot of days of a whole lot of things, but we are in this, our family is in the process of, death and transition and mourning and memorial service planning and all of these things. And I keep coming back to, well, what is this medicine for through me as me right now? And I've been talking with a couple of my soul peeps about how there are a lot of medicine kin, right? Especially melanated medicine kin right now. Teachers, healers, etc., who, what feels like in the deepest, most sacred way, are trying to call us in to the times, to what's happening right now. Genocide and atrocities and ethnic cleansing, because they are very much at the forefront right now. Are they new? No. Has this shit been going on for generations? Yes. Has there ever been an actual break in what is happening on this planet for most especially bodies of color, of culture, as Resma Menikin would say, marginalized people groups, oppressed people groups, descendants of enslaved and attempted to be erased and genocided people groups? Like, has there ever been a break? No. This world keeps on going. One of the things that I am keenly aware of yet again, which I think anytime we lose family members or loved ones, there is a reminder that the world's just going to keep on going. Like when you step outside and you're just like, what the, like, everything just keeps going, right? And so while there are some key things, right, that are at the forefront right now, does that mean that 2 months ago things weren't happening? Of course not. 2 years ago? Of course not. These things, these atrocities have been ongoing. And there are moments, there are these moments of collective quickening where we are truly, we are all dropped in, we are all present. And those moments of quickening can bring about and facilitate really fucking deep transformation for us individually and collectively. That being said, coming back to a lot of, there are many, let's just say, teachers, healers who, in what I believe, are like an attempt to call everyone in, right, to what's happening. And very often what seems to be happening and feels to be happening, this is what I know today. This is something I've noticed over the years, and because we're in this collective quickening, we're in a moment of collective quickening again. It's actually feeling like something for me to share with you and see if it resonates. It does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But for those of us, melanated medicine kin, soul refugees, peeps, edge walkers, you have big medicine for the times. What happens is very often what these teachers, healers, etc., coaches, medicine people can speak to can sometimes tell us, or it can sometimes feel, right, that, okay, like, you cannot run your business right now. You cannot sell right now. You cannot share your message right now. You cannot do anything that is your medicine right now because of what's happening in the world. And as I receive the medicine, right, as God speaks to, through, as me, for me, most especially in these times that we're in as a family, right, and then what we're in collectively, if you have medicine for the times, like, how could you not speak to it? How could you not share it? why exactly would you believe that you need to keep quiet about what is for you, what is being moved, what has been given to you for this time because of what's happening in the world? No, we look at what's happening in the world and we say, holy fuck, this is the time for me to say it. This is the time for me to say that which I can't not say. This is the time for the medicine, right? Like, this is medicine for the times. If you have been gifted, you have been gifted. If you have the privilege of having a message, of having a voice, of having big medicine born to your fucking bones, then how could you not say it? And this is not in a judgmental way of like, you better say it or else you're not doing the work. Look, do what you got to do. Take care of you. What is happening is a lot. Like, what's happening is a lot, and it's been a lot. And we've had decades, we've had generations, right? We have ancestral stuff that we're still working through. And also, if you know that if you have received the calling that your medicine is for the now, is for the times, then it doesn't matter what anyone else is telling you of what you can and cannot, or what you should and should not be speaking to right now. If you have a sale right now, fucking rock that sale. If you have a new program, if you have a new art gallery opening, if you have a new screenplay that doesn't seem like it has anything to do with what's happening in the world right now, the world is going to keep on worlding. There are always going to be atrocities. There are always going to, from what we see today, from the way people like to be people in, there are going to be atrocities. At no point, if you know that you have big medicine, at no point is that medicine is God being like, yo, don't say it. Don't say it, because do you see what's happening in the world? So keep it under wraps. Keep the medicine under wraps until the world gets better. Because when is that going to happen? We don't know. When are people going to stop trying to oppress other people in order to keep their wealth, their perceived power, their whatever position, caste, place? We don't know. And so if you've been given the medicine, you've been given the medicine for the now, then speak to it now. If you are called to speak to it, speak to it. We get to look like, I'm seeing, and this is not new, but whenever any collective uprising sort of happens, there seems to be a dampening, right, of melanated voices. There seems to be a dampening by melanated people of other melanated people. Of course, there's always dampening of our voices by white bodies, by oppressive bodies, by white supremacy. That's fucking every day, right? I'm speaking to when we attempt to silence one another, when we attempt to police one another, when we attempt to become some sort of overseer of what we can and cannot, should and should not be saying during times of this collective quickening, this uprising. That is, from what I know today, that is a moment for us to reflect and to pause, to drop into the stillness and to come back to, if I have been given medicine for the time, how could I not speak to it? How could I not message around it? How could I not say the things that I know I'm here to say? How could I not embody and evoke that which has been given to me for the now, right? Now, does this mean that we just like don't speak to or don't do our work around what's happening in the world? Of course not. But if you're speaking to the big medicine, if you're speaking to the magic that was born to you, there's no way that you're not going to speak to the atrocities, right? Like, if you actually stand for and stand for liberation, then that means you are already, if you actually stand for like the liberation, if you've heard me say this a million times, the liberation of one means absolutely nothing without the liberation of all. So if you truly stand for liberation, that means like inherently you've got to be doing your anti-oppression work. You've got to be dismantling your anti-blackness that you've internalized, that you've encoded. You've got to be dismantling your anti-indigeneity. Me in that word, indigeneity, right? You've got to be working on anywhere that you've internalized being the oppressor of people who look like you, sound like you, of what they should be or should not be saying, right? So if you're actually being called to the medicine work, there is no way that you can be called to the big medicine. Like, there's no way. Like, you're not a fucking grifter. This is what I was telling one of my friends. Like, you're not a grifter. You're not here to run a business that is trying to extract resources and extract land and extract bodies. You're here to speak to the now. You're here to speak to what is happening in the now. Your medicine is for the now. So this is not the time for us to be quiet about that which we know is ours. If you're like, oh my God, but I can't make money now, how could you not? How can we actually create and generate and facilitate additional resources for those who need it. If we're like, oh shit, I can't say anything, I can't have money, I can't have business, I can't have clients, I can't have gallery openings, I can't sell the screenplay, I can't do the things, blah, 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 because of what's happening. No, like, how could we not because of what's happening? How could we not? We are here to say the things. We've been given the medicine, and so we get to actually speak to the medicine that we have been given. The medicine is for the now. You are for the now, right? You're not for these colonized streets. You're for the fucking medicine now, right? And so if you've been given the medicine, I know that there are a lot of voices, unfortunately a lot of melanated voices, that are saying you can't run business as usual. You can't do these things right now. You shouldn't. If you are, then you're being the colonizer. And what's coming through for me is that so often that is actually the come from of that is rooted in colonization. The come from of telling other melanated bodies what we should and should not be doing during times of collective uprising is rooted in this idea of what is good and bad, of what is right and wrong, of what should be said and should not be said, which is us becoming our own overseers. It is us embodying and evoking the pain and the trauma of white supremacy, of oppression, of colonization, of all of these tools that are used to extract and oppress and continue to facilitate these atrocities like genocide, like ethnic cleansing. And so if we are policing ourselves, not only are we doing the job of colonization for itself, right? Like for colonizers, for oppressors, but we are not honoring, right, that which we have been given. And if you desire to live in devotional ecstasy with everything that you are, everything that you've been, everything that you are called to, then, and you know that you've been given medicine for the now, how could we not speak to it? How could you not speak to it? And if you're like, oh, then that's the medicine work, right? That's the medicine invitation. That's the gap medicine for the now, to see all of the things that we've encoded that tell us, no, now you have to keep quiet, because if you run a business, if you're upholding capitalism, or maybe you're upholding the medicine. Maybe you're in business because of medicine, not because you're trying to uphold and sustain systems of oppression, but because you know that you are here to either dismantle them, to blaze a new way of being, of experiencing, of sharing resources, whatever it might be. But if you are for the now, if you are for the medicine now of the now, then how could we not speak to that, right? That's what's coming through. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this, right? Like, and that's okay, because that's the medicine that's coming through me right now, right? And a lot of you, if it's for you, then let this be for you, right? Let this be for you. Yeah. Death and mourning and grieving, and I've experienced them like a decent amount, right? This is, oh my God, fucking, grief is sometimes such a fucking asshole. This feels like another notch in my death belt. This is, yeah. Death. My little death grief mourning voice likes to make lots of inappropriate jokes. Which if you know, it's just how it is sometimes. But it feels like, as always, that this is a portal. And this feels like a portal for me to invite you into, not to invite you into death and mourning as medicine for you, but this feels like a portal of invitation from me, for you, for us, to truly look at all the ways within which we have begun silencing ourselves because of what's happening in the world, rather than, and there's an invitation for us. The invitation then becomes, right, for us to look at what's happening in the world, and rather than silence ourselves, ask ourselves, like, how in the holy fuck could I not? How could I not say the things that I know I'm here to say with what's happening? And so whatever you're experiencing, exhaustion, grief, all of the things, one, know that there's no way to experience it. Two, one, it's on the individual level and then also on the collective level at the same time. That is a quickening, and there is an invitation for us to look at, and what am I here to say? What am I here to offer? What am I here to embody? What am I here to invoke and evoke as me? God medicine as me. And then where am I silencing that? Where am I telling myself I can't? Where am I saying it has to be this other way other than blah, 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 blah? And then what if we actually allowed ourselves to simply get our ass in the chair and come back to, of course, I'm trying to wrap things up. There's a plane going over by. Okay. Yes. I feel like apparently that little neurodiverse whoop was where we're going to find some completion here. I love you. Tell me all the things. Tell me what comes through. Tell me if you, tell me what's coming through for you. I will also share the EAE is coming. That is one of the things that I've been shown as medicine, that it's time. And I've been like, no, I'm going to wait until all the things and da-da-da. And it was like, no, this is for the now. And that this medicine is for the now. So my melanated medicine kin, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Everything else, oh my God, I added some extra things. I'm talking about business. I was called to add some things back into my shop. And so you can go and you'll see there's bundles and there's some initiations, etc., right? NikkaKarli.com, blah, 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 blah. Point being, if there is a point to anything, ever, I really got the hit, within the last few years, if you've been with me, erotic abolitionism, my body of work, the movement as me. And I was like, oh my God, everything must go. We've got to, everything, it doesn't fit. And what really came through was like last night was like that, today's full moon, it's like that full moon energy, and death as medicine, grief as medicine, mourning as medicine. It was like, look at this. We got rid of the stuff. We closed down all the things. I need chapstick. I need blistex. Because that was what it was in that moment, right? But now we're called to reopen some things, because they were never not a part of erotic abolitionism. They were never not a part of it. They were simply some beginning stages of it, but they were never not it. And so some of them I was called to reopen. So you'll see that there's more things. So the point, if you you've been called to the next evolution of your body of work, of your message, of your movement, right, of the medicine born to you, and you're like, everything must go. If you have a lot of primal tendencies, like, you got us right here, then you might have been like, everything must go, and fucking fire sailed your entire business and life. And that's what it was in those moments, right? And then sometimes we will have these things, these portals, these grief portals, exhaustion portals, love portals, joy portals, collective uprising portals, that truly allow us to see what it is now. Like, okay, it was that we fire sailed everything, and now what it is, what is it now, right? What is it now? And so there's also an invitation for you to truly look at, like, maybe things that you have ended, that they were completed at that time, but now is the time to actually go even deeper on them, right? Sometimes like, all endings are beginnings are endings of something else, right? And so maybe it was the ending then, but now it's the beginning of something else that you're being called to share and speak to and evoke. And so there's an invitation there for us to also look at all of the things that we may have closed, that it's time to reopen, or to open in a different way. And to remember that when we make these decisions, life, relationships, business, all the things, the magic, it is all a part of the medicine. It is all part of the practice. And so will you allow yourself to be that deep into the practice of that which you know is for you, that you are able to continuously distill down on what is yours for the now, and what is yours to share with the world for the now? Yes, fuck, I really planned on this being like a 3-minute video, and here we are. So you're welcome for this fabulous outfit. You're so welcome for this fabulous outfit. Yeah. I love you. Tell me all the things. Tell me what comes through. Okay. Yeah. All right. As always, here's to your untaming. Bye, wild ones.